Hey everybody, I wanted to do a quick response to a question that someone asked me. BeautyWithin Sherry asked me to give some advice for new or expectant mothers, and she also asked how we got Gracie sleeping through the night so soon. Um, as far as advice for new mothers, um, this is pretty much me coming from not really knowing a whole lot about babies before I had a baby, and pretty much having to learn a lot of stuff from scratch. Um, one of the one of the biggest lessons I've learned is just it's really about patience. Babies are very demanding, especially when they're brand new. They're brand new to the world. Things it's uncomfortable being outside of the belly for them. Um, and so I very much try to soothe my daughter whenever possible. I mean, if she's crying or, I know that there's a reason for it most of the time. Um, um, I will say that it is really about patience, and it's about really having a system and having a routine. One of the things that's really helped me so much is to just have a schedule. You know, really have a schedule and really kind of try to stick to it as much as possible, even when they're brand new. I had so many people tell me like, you can't put a newborn on a schedule. You can't make a newborn do blah blah blah. Well, we have done it. I mean, I'm a very schedule oriented person in general, and so it really was not that difficult for me to come up with a plan and just pretty much stick to the plan. When my mother was here for 3 weeks helping me to get Gracie on a schedule. We pretty much started a couple of days after we got home from the hospital, getting Gracie on a schedule so that she could sleep at night. Um, what I've learned about my baby too is that she is a lot like me in that when I don't, sorry, she's eating. What I've learned about my baby is that she functions, Gracie, so silly. She functions a lot better when she's on the schedule as well. What we started doing, and she was maybe a week old. My mom just told me, okay, we'll start keeping her up during the day. She'll get a little nap in the afternoon. And then, we'll do a bath at 9. And then we'll let her eat until she falls asleep. So in the beginning, I will say that the way we kept her up during the day, we would take her clothes off and kind of play with her a lot. Talk to her, sing to her, do a lot of things to kind of keep her entertained. Also, and she's still like this to a certain extent, she doesn't like to be put down. So a lot of times if I'm trying to keep her awake, sometimes if she's dozing off to sleep, I will put her down. And then within a minute or two, she'll wake up like, nobody's holding me. Sad to say, but that has been one of the techniques that I've used to actually keep her awake during the day. But I pick her back up and she wakes up. But yeah, we started by, taking her little clothes off. One thing that she hates is she hates people to mess with her feet and her hands and stuff. So we would take her socks off, tickle her feet and stuff. Also, another way that I would keep her up during the day is, and this is a really good tip in general, I do diapers the old school way in the sense that I don't use wipes. I have a bucket, which is actually the bucket that we got from the hospital, the little wash tubs. I put water in it, a little bit of water. I have a bar of soap, and I have one of her little washcloths. And that's how I do her diaper changes, with warm water, because she's a lot calmer during diaper changes. Also, it's free. You don't have to go and buy a million wipes. The only time I use wipes is when we're out in public, and I've only had to change her diaper in public maybe 3 times since she's been born. Majority of the time we're at home, and so it saves a lot of money to use the buckets. that was another thing, how we kept her awake during the day is diaper changes. During the day we would definitely change her diaper frequently. And because getting her changed and everything, you have to move her around and you have to wiggle with her and put water on her and she would wake up. That was another technique that we used to keep her awake. One thing I will say as far as having a system, one of the biggest organizational things that have helped me since I've had Gracie is really those little hospital buckets, because I don't have to go looking for everything. And let me see if I can show you guys. Miss Gracie is nursing, so we got to do the acrobatics to kind of hold on to her and everything and still get around. Alright, so this is my bucket over here. And I stock this with diapers every time we start running out. Of course, there's only maybe 2 diapers in there right now because we're almost to the end of the day. But I put all of her powder, lotion, soap, rag, everything. And as you can see, there's actually 2 of these buckets. One is inside of the other. The one on the bottom, I actually use that one to fill. I put water in it, so I don't have to take everything out of this bucket on the top every time I change her diaper. So I actually took 2 of those little tubs from the hospital, and that has been a lifesaver because I am a stay-at-home mom, so most of the time we are here, and I just need to not have to run around and look for everything every time she needs a diaper change. So I can just grab everything really fast whenever it's time to change her diaper and come back over here and change her, and it's easy and quick. And it's organized. Most of the time, if I need something, it's in the bucket. So, that's that. Yeah, but what I will say, just be organized. I have her things in. I'm a very particular. I wouldn't say OCD, but I will say I'm very particular about how I have her room organized, her drawers. The way that I do her laundry, it's very specific because I know that I'm the type of person, I'm a creature of habit. So I always try to put everything back exactly where it was before so that I don't lose things. But yeah, so getting her to stay awake, I'm going back to that. I know I'm kind of jumping around here, but I'm going to get to everything. Getting her to stay awake during the day. We were taking her clothes off. We were taking her little socks off if she was still fully dressed. Tickling her little feet. Dancing, singing, talking to her. She's a very alert baby in the sense that ever since she was born, she loves for you to talk to her. She opens her little eyes. She wants you to talk and have a conversation. So we did that a whole lot. And then when it would get close to 9 o'clock, this is the first week she was home, we would do, at 9, we would take her bath, which she screamed bloody murder through the whole thing. The first few times. It took her a couple of days to get used to the bath. But we would do that at night. Get her all lotioned up, powder, put on her little PJs. And then she would know. She started to learn after a couple of days that we're winding down for bed. It means when I get my bath, we're winding down for bed. And then back then, that was when she was 2 weeks old, just about. She would fall asleep. She would nurse until maybe 10:30 or so. And then she would fall asleep. I would wrap her up, bundle her up in the swaddle, put her in her bassinet, and she would sleep till about 4 a.m. Now, back then, that's sleeping all night. For a newborn, sleeping for, 5 hours or 4 hours, that's pretty much sleeping through the night. So I was happy with that. Because when she was first born, I didn't get sleep for about a week when I was in the hospital. And the first couple of days we came home. So getting like a 4-hour stretch of sleep was like heaven. It was amazing. As time has progressed, she has started sleeping for longer stretches. I'm going back to what I was saying about the schedule. One thing with Gracie is she's kind of like me in that she's a creature of habit. And so one night I actually skipped her bath because she does scream bloody murder. Like when you are getting her, once you take her out of the tub, she starts to holler because it's cold. And so when you're trying to lotion her up, put on her pajamas, she screams and cries the whole time. And so one night I was just so tired. I was like, I'm not even going to give her a bath tonight. I'm just going to put on her little pajamas and go to bed. Instead of her going to bed at 12 like she normally does, she stayed up until about 3 a.m. nursing and looking at me in my face because she was like, when are we going to take our bath? Because that's when I know it's bedtime. So that was a lesson learned. I always, and it doesn't matter how late we get in, the night that me and my husband went on our date, we actually got in at 11. I still gave her her bath, and she still knew that it was time to wind down for night-night, and she still ended up going to sleep her regular time. So I never skip the bath anymore. I keep her on a routine. So yeah, that's been a big help. I also noticed that when she does sleep through the night, see now her schedule has changed a little bit. She used to fall asleep at about 10:30, maybe 11. Now she nurses for a couple of hours after bath time. So I usually give her bath about 9 o'clock, 9:30. She'll nurse from probably 10 o'clock until midnight. And then she'll fall asleep. And I usually put her down about 12:20 or 12:30. And she sleeps until about 7:30 in the morning every morning. She's been sticking to that for the past couple of weeks. So she has changed it a little bit. Like in the beginning, she was nursing for a shorter period of time. And now at night, she nurses for a good long time after her bath, a couple of hours. So yeah, but like I said, I think it's great. She's 7 weeks today, actually. And she's been sleeping through the night pretty much since the second week of her life. That first week she did the 10:30 till about 4 a.m. Sometimes it was 3:45, that kind of thing. But she was pretty much giving me a good 4-hour stretch, if not more, most nights. And then eventually she started to sleep for longer stretches. She would start to get up at 5, and then, it was 6, and then it was 6:30. And now she pretty much sleeps until 7:30 every morning. And sometimes if she goes like this morning, she actually slept until 8:30, and I actually had to wake her up and go ahead and change her diaper. Like I said, the main thing is consistency. Normally our schedule now, since she usually gets up about 7:30, she gets up about 7:30. She might eat until maybe 9:30, and then she'll fall back asleep until sometimes, it depends. Sometimes she'll sleep until noon or something. Sometimes she'll stay up the whole time until maybe 12:45, and then I'll have her sleep from 12:45 until about maybe 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, 3 o'clock is really my cutoff time, and that's when I say, okay, she has to be up for the rest of the evening now. 3 o'clock is the latest that I will go with letting her nap. So if she gets up in the morning and she wants to nurse a couple of times and keep going to sleep, keep falling asleep, napping, I let her do that as long as she wants, until 3 p.m. Because she needs that long stretch until 9 so that she can be tired, so she can tire herself out. So I nurse her during the day. She will play. We do tummy time. We run around and, we play music and sing and dance. And then she's eating throughout the day, and then I'm changing diapers and getting up. And like I said, I still use the technique of putting her down and allowing her to just kind of be by herself and soothe herself. Sometimes she can chill and she'll sit there. Hey, Pumpkin. Hey. Hey, my sweetums. Oh. And sometimes she cries. But, it's really it's hit or miss. But that is still one of the techniques that I use to keep her awake during the day. So, yeah, pretty much from 3 p.m. until 9, I have to keep her up, because that's the only way that she's definitely going to go to bed by midnight. So I've gotten used to that schedule. We're pretty much stuck to that. Another thing is, too, my baby is very nosy. So it's not that hard to keep her up nowadays, because she's so curious and she wants to see everything. She wants to look around. She's just very nosy and very active. And so it's not hard, especially if we have company. Say my husband's family comes over or something, or like on Sundays, she's always tuckered out because we go to church, and then we have Sunday dinner. So everybody's passing her around. She's always up. She's looking at everybody, and she stays up almost the entire day on Sundays because she's just so nosy. She won't take a nap. She'll like refuse to take a nap, which it does lead to her being cranky. Um, closer to the evening time. And that's one thing I will say too. Make sure they get a nap. Usually her nap time is about 1 p.m. till about 3 p.m. That's usual. Sometimes it might be a little bit before that. She might wake up at 2 or 2:30. But I always make sure she gets at least maybe an hour and a half to 2 hour nap in the afternoon, because she needs it. If she doesn't get it, she's going to be a cranky mess. I'm talking about by 7 p.m., 8 p.m., she's screaming her head off because she's so tired, and I have to mess with her constantly to keep her awake. Like, I refuse to let her fall asleep. So we're kind of fighting, at that point, if she hasn't had her nap. And so, also, they are going to get a little fussy getting closer to bath time because they are tired. She'll be sitting there like this, really trying to stay up, and I constantly wake her up. So you do have to have some consistency, and you do kind of have to put your foot down in that. Okay, yes, she's a baby. Yes, she's sleepy. Like her aunts and stuff come over and they see me constantly messing with her and waking her up, and they're like, "Leave her alone. She's a baby. Let her sleep." But I don't, because of the fact that what I've learned, and you have to learn your baby, and it takes time. It takes a few weeks to really learn your baby's personality. What I've learned about Gracie is she needs that structure. She needs that schedule. If she gets mad at me, but she has a great night's sleep every night. And every morning when we wake up, she doesn't cry. She's calm. Most of the time she just opens her little eyes whenever it's time to wake up, and she's just looking around. She's smiling. She's happy. And I change her diaper. She doesn't cry in the morning. She just gets on and she nurses, and there's no drama whatsoever. And I've had a full night's sleep. It makes the whole situation so much easier. So you are going to be tempted to, you're going to be tempted to give in, and the baby's sleepy, let the baby sleep. Don't do it. If you want to get the baby on a schedule, stick to the schedule. And it's hard work. I mean, it doesn't seem like singing to a baby or dancing with the baby or, changing the baby's diaper or tickling their feet. It doesn't seem like it's hard work. But if you're doing that for about 5 or 6 hours, you get tired. You get tired and you start to want to let the baby go to sleep because you want a break, But that's pretty much what I do. And like I said, this is really coming from the standpoint of a stay-at-home mom. I don't really have advice for getting babies on a schedule for working mothers because of the fact that I'm not a working mother. This is my first child. I've never had the experience of having to get ready to go back to work and having a new baby. This is my first child. I only have the experience of being a stay-at-home mother. So that's the only viewpoint I can speak from. So, but yeah. And usually during her naps is when I will do laundry. I will cook. I will clean up the house. I will take my shower. And you need that time as well. You need that time to take a shower, kind of get refreshed. A lot of times I'll take, like if I'm going to cook dinner, I'll take my food out in the morning, my meat, have it defrosted in the morning. Excuse me. While she's taking her nap, I will cook. It gives you time to get everything done around the house that needs to be done. Also, when she has that stretch in the morning, she might sleep from, 10 until 12 or something like that, or 9:30 until 12. That's also another stretch of time where I have time to get up and do things and move around, and get cleaned up and take care of the house. So, yeah, but like I said, one of the biggest lessons I've learned is that it's definitely about patience, and it's about consistency. Babies are brand new. You really have to, they don't understand that they have their days and nights mixed up. So it's up to you to really kind of get them to understand that you sleep at night and you stay up during the day. And as time goes on, they start to stay up during the day on their own, where you don't have to keep them up anymore. Like now with her, she knows, once it's about 3, she kind of has her internal clock now. She won't go to sleep. She'll stay and she'll nurse and she'll play. She won't even be, doing like that, like how she was in the beginning, when I was first kind of training her. So, I would definitely, and as her mother, one thing I've learned, as her mother, you know what's best for your baby. And you know what's best for you as far as your schedule and what works best for you. Um, I've listened to advice from several people, but at the end of the day, I had to figure out what was best for me and what was best for my baby. Even in the beginning, when I was nursing, when learning how to nurse her, my mother and my husband both, when we came from the hospital, they were frustrated because she was scream bloody murder because she was still learning how to latch. She's a jitterbug. She would move around all the time. And I was getting frustrated because I was trying to figure out, she's constantly waving her hands around and having her hands in her face. Because on the ultrasound picture, she always have her hands in her face. But I had to learn, okay, maybe when I'm feeding her, because I was trying to do like skin to skin contact and all this stuff that I've heard. With Gracie, I couldn't do that. I had to swaddle her when I fed her. That kept her calm. She felt better when she was swaddled, and she latched on perfectly when she was swaddled. I couldn't do strip her down naked and do skin to skin and all that because she just would constantly move around. She would take the nipple out of her mouth, then she would scream bloody murder. And my husband and my mother were both frustrated in the beginning because I was still learning, and they were like, why don't you just give her the bottle? They wanted me to give her formula. And I had to tell both of them, listen, I wanted to do my natural childbirth, which I did, and you guys know that I wanted to breastfeed for at least a year, which I am currently doing. And you guys, I need your support, because it's not going to be easy. Babies, they're going to cry, they're going to scream, and you have to know, you have to be confident in yourself as a mother and as a first-time mother, and I'm learning this still, that you know what's best for your baby. Don't let anybody else try to, well, maybe you should do this or maybe you should do that. I mean, you can listen and you can, listen to other people, but, figure out what works best for you and what works best for your baby. So, that's the best advice I can give. You know, stay consistent if you want her to sleep through the night. If you have a night, and you know what too, don't get discouraged if you skip a day. Because we had a couple of days in there where, I wasn't able to stick to the schedule. And we would have a bad night. And she would be up until 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'm exhausted, and she's still nursing. And I'm like, why won't you go to bed, baby? But every day is a new day to get back on the schedule. And that's the mantra that I had to kind of have is, okay, tomorrow we will get back on track. I wasn't able to do it today, but tomorrow we will get back on track. And that's how I had to do it. Every day was another chance to get us back right. And so every day I would just try my best. Of course, you're exhausted when you first come home, might still be in pain. I didn't have a C-section, but I did have a natural birth, and I had a episiotomy. So I was still in pain. If you have a C-section, you're going to be in pain. So you're going to have to do the best you can. But do the best you can, and don't get discouraged if you're not able to do it perfectly every day. Because sometimes you will not be able to. But you just try every single day to get better and do better. And that's basically it. I don't know if you guys want to see Miss Gracie. She's nursing right now. I don't know if you can see her. Say, hey, Gracie. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace out, guys. Only other thing, too, I will say, what you definitely need, these. This is the cloth diaper, and you can pretty much buy these like at Walmart. I got a pack of 12 for maybe $15 or something. You need these. You need them. I go through like 5 of them a day. Well, no, maybe 3 or 4. But you need these. Babies spit up all the time. I have gotten used to being snotted on. I have gotten used to being thrown up on. I have gotten used to being pooped on. It does not even faze me anymore. These are mommy truths. You will get used to all the bodily fluids being on your body at some point. These things are a lifesaver. She spits up now, and I'm a pro. I just catch it, bloop, and it doesn't even hit the floor anymore. Like your reflexes will become cat-like, and you will be able to catch anything that spews out of any of her orifices. And I'm telling you the truth. But yes, you need these little cloth diapers. That is the one thing that I will say I definitely love. And definitely definitely keep them on hand all the time. Keep them with you, because if not, you will have spit up down your shirt, you will have spit up in your lap, you will have spit up in your mouth. It has happened. Don't ask, but it happened. So keep these cloth diapers on you, and you will not regret it. I promise you that. It will keep your furniture clean. They will keep your floor clean. I mean, I do a lot of laundry. I do her laundry probably maybe twice a week, to make sure I have enough of these on hand. But it's definitely worth it. Definitely get some. You wash them, you reuse them. They last forever. Get them now. Do it. Okay, bye for real this time.